So we're going to start in a reclined, we're actually going to start with a lot of practice at the start. It's going to start reclined. We're going to come into reclined Supta Baddha Konasana legs. So, yes, can I help you? So you're going to basically take your blocks and you're going to make them into a T shape on your mat. So if one of your blocks or your book is slightly higher than the other one, you want that one to be kind of where your head's going to go. Could you please move? Excuse me. Move. Move. Lucinda, move your arse. There we go. So you want the slightly bigger block to kind of go where your head's going to go, and then the smaller block or book is going to go lengthwise. You're going to make like a T shape. We're then going to take our pillow and we're going to lie this across both of them, and then you're going to shimmy yourself back. Soles of your feet are going to come together, and then we're going to recline down onto those blocks. So if you come down if that block at your head is too far away, you need to shimmy it up a bit. You can. I say this a lot, we don't instantly come into all our yoga poses, so any fidgets, any adjustments you need to make in order to get yourself nice and comfortable. Make sure your head is nice and supported here. I'd rather your head be supported and your hips maybe having a bit more space. So soles of your feet are going to come together, and you're just going to bring your feet however close or far away you want to bring them in your body. So like I said, when you in yoga, in yin, we want to come to our edge. So if your feet are really far away and you think, I can maybe go a little bit deeper, just walk your feet slightly closer to your body. You're just going to roll your shoulders down your back, spin your palms up to the sky, and just let the pillow and the blocks just take all your weight here. Just let your breath start to lengthen. And when I say that, it doesn't mean instantly go from, breathing in for 2, out for 2 to maybe breathing in for 8. Just let your breath naturally slow down a little bit. We don't want to take it from one extreme to the other. We want to ease our body into it. So there's a number of breathing techniques that we can do. So we can do ladder breathing, where we gradually increase the count of our breaths. Maybe inhale for 4, exhale for 4, inhale for 5, exhale for 5. Or you can maybe inhale for 4, hold it for 4, exhale for 4, hold it for 4. So just letting your body take on board any kind of breathing rhythm that it wants to, but making sure that the breath that you're taking in is serving you, and the breath that you're letting go is removing something. Because we do hold postures for longer in yin, it is likely that there will be some intensity, maybe a slight element of uncomfortableness. But there shouldn't be any pain. So if you do experience any pain, please back out of the pose. If you are experiencing this intensity, just making sure that you're utilizing your breath to its full capacity to allow you to commit and stay in that posture. So just seeing if there's anywhere else in your body you can soften. Can you release maybe your knees a fraction of a millimeter closer to the earth? Let your elbows become really heavy. Then allowing your shoulders to just drop down. Letting your belly become really soft here, not holding on to anything in your front body. letting your chest open up to the sky. I want you to just take 2 more breaths here. Just make them the fullest breaths that you've done so far. Feeling your breath swell up your torso and feeling it going all the way down your limbs to your fingertips and your toes. And then softly letting it go maybe out through the mouth. And whenever you've completed those 2 inhales and exhales, just taking your hands just either side of your legs if you want to, and just using your hands to really slowly, as if you're moving your knees through honey, bringing your knees back through, just feeling those sensations as we come out of this pose. And then you're just going to gently, because obviously we're up on a little bit of height, roll onto one side. And then just move those props. There's no kind of delicate way to do it. Move those props out from underneath you. Just set them over to the side. And then just come to lie with your back flat on the floor. Feet are going to be on the floor. Just feeling that space, that expansion behind your heart. And then keeping your left foot just flat on the floor, we're just going to hug our right knee. Just clasp your fingers, hugging your right knee and pulling your knee towards your armpit. And then we're going to come into half happy baby. So bringing your right sole of your foot up to the sky and just grabbing just the inner or outside edges of your foot. So if you grab the outside edges, it tends to open our chest up. If you grab the inside edges, it closes our chest in. So just whichever you prefer. Obviously, we've just done a big heart opener, so if you want to close your chest in to neutralize it, you can. So making your arm really heavy here, the weight of it. Bringing your knee just slightly closer to the earth. And you're welcome to keep your left leg with your foot on the floor here, or if you want to straighten out that left leg, you can. Now if straightening out your left leg and you come into a place where you can't hold it, then just place the sole of your foot back on the ground. Even though we have changed our posture from what we started class with, it doesn't mean we need to change our breathing. So I like to remind people during class that they should be tapping back in to that breath they created. Our breath is our life force. Just maybe checking in with that right arm. Making sure we're not completely locking out our elbow. There's still some length in our neck. Just taking another breath here. And if you did straighten out your left leg, just rebending it, placing the sole of your foot onto the ground. And then you're going to place your right ankle just above your left knee, so your legs are coming into a figure 4 shape. Now if this is enough, you can stay here, or you can lift your left knee up and bring it towards your chest, looping your hands just through that little gap in your legs, and you can clasp your fingers behind your quad, or if you want to, clasp in front of your shin. Now we want an element of action with our body in this. We don't want it to be completely passive, so we want to actively be sending that right knee forward and pulling our left knee in. So almost like a resisting the outside edge of our right leg against the top of our left knee there. Making sure that it's just the bit above our ankle that's resting. We don't want the ankle joint to be on the leg. Maybe as we start to get a little bit deeper into our hips, we're using that breath to soften those areas of intensity. Still thinking about that right knee coming forward, left knee coming in. While keeping our tailbone rooted down to the earth. So if you start to feel your tailbone start to peel up, just send it back down. Pressing our low back into the earth, feeling that connection. Staying here for one more beautiful breath. And then exhale, if you've clasped onto the back of your leg, slowly dropping that foot down. And then placing your shimming your hips slightly over to the right. And we're just going to come into a nice twist here. So our right foot's going to come down to meet the earth on the left hand side. And then just opening your arms out to the side, or wherever is comfortable. If you want to put them above your head, you can. And then gaze just wherever you want. And if you want to increase that stretch still in your hips, you're just going to slide your right ankle just up towards your left hip. You might just need to keep your left hand on it. And keeping that right knee pointing directly up towards the ceiling. And starting to loosen off through our low back here. Starting to twist our body. Adding a little bit of pressure to all those lovely organs inside of us. Twists can be really detoxing, so letting our body ring out, knowing every exhale you're just releasing it. And then just slowly bringing your knees through the center. Then placing our right foot onto the ground. And then hugging your left knee in towards your chest. So just starting off with hugging it towards our shoulders. We start to open into that hip a little bit. And we're going to repeat that sequence on the other side. So I just want you to honor how this side feels compared to the other side, knowing that they won't be exactly the same. And then just opening your knee, flexing your foot towards the ceiling. And again, if you grab the inside edge on the other side, I offer you to grab the inside edge on this side. So just whichever side of your foot you grab, just making sure you're doing the same on the other side. We want to keep things nice and equal. As we let that left knee sink down towards the earth, just with the weight of our left arm. So don't forcefully pull it down, just let the weight of the body work against itself. And then again, you're welcome to straighten out that right leg, but if straightening that right leg takes you a little bit too far, it's uncomfortable, it's not something you'll be able to commit to, just re-bend it again. If you're able to straighten on the right side but not the left side and vice versa, just knowing that there's just a little imbalance there. We're not completely symmetrical. Be thinking about your left arm becoming even heavier. Imagine someone's placed their hands on your left shoulder. Feeling that weight pressing you down to the earth. If you bend your right leg, just re-bend it to place the sole of your foot on the ground. And then just coming into our reclined pigeon, so left leg just above the right knee. So just like the other side, your ankle shouldn't be on your left leg, it should be kind of hanging out off the side. Just staying here before we come into the bind, so just assessing this side. And then lifting our right knee if you wish, and just looping our hands through. So grabbing onto the quad or the shin, and then actively sending that left knee forward, right knee towards the chest, while keeping our shoulders rooted down to the ground and our tailbone rooted down to the ground. If our tailbone starts to lift, just send our tailbone back down and think about sending that knee further forward. Taking the first couple of breaths in our pose just to feel them out, working out where your edge is, and then finding that stillness. You feel like maybe your edge is moved slightly further away, which can happen when we come into stretches, just maybe pushing your body back to the edge. The intensity is decreased slightly, just turn it up a tiny bit, just for these final few breaths. And if you lifted your right foot, just bringing it back down to the earth, and then just coming into our twist. So sole of your left foot's coming down. We're twisting towards the right hand side. Again, sliding that left heel up towards your right hip. I'm going to increase it slightly while keeping our knee directly up, shoulders grounded down. In this pose, we'll feel that our breath is maybe slightly restricted. We need to breathe deeper into that left hand side. And as we breathe, we'll just feel those tiny muscles in our ribs start to open. And in your next inhale, bring your legs through the center, placing both feet onto the ground, and then just hugging both knees in, just giving ourselves a quick little. Then just rolling onto the side and just taking your time to come up to a seated position. We don't want to rush anything to come up. And just coming to sit, spin your palms up towards the ceiling and just closing down your eyes. Feeling those sensations around your body. And slowly blinking your eyes open and just having your pillow kind of handy, as you might need it for the next pose. We're going to come into a variation on a deer twist here. So you're going to bring your left leg is going to come behind you, so your left heel is going to come towards your left butt cheek. So there's going to be quite a small angle in our knee here, and our right heel is going to come to our left knee. So as you look down, there should be kind of like a triangle, and then your left heel is towards your bum. So your body will naturally want to twist round towards the left hand side. We want to bring it to the right hand side. So we're going to twist round to the right here. So the left hand is going to come onto our knee, right hand's going to come behind us. I want you to find that twist. And then we can come to recline into that. Now if you want to come down to recline and it's too much, you're welcome to stay up. And if you want to come into the recline, you can come onto your pillow. So our right hand is out behind us, left hand is on our right knee, pulling our low tummy up slightly, keeping our shoulders away from one another, and then we just come to recline down while keeping our legs still really grounded down to the earth. So we have a nice opening in our legs, and we're stretching through the left side body here. And just letting your gaze fall over to the left hand side. Sending our breath to our lower back. Making sure your shoulders aren't taking any of the tension from your legs here, keeping them nice and soft. Staying for another couple of moments. And if you came down to your pillow, maybe slowly coming up onto your forearms first. And rising up, walking our hands back towards our body. And then just turning our body around to naturally where it wants to go. So this idea of it almost going directly over that left leg. And just bringing your hands behind you and just swapping that up. So we're going to bring our right heel round to the right hand side, bring it close into our bum. Left heel is going to place just at the right knee. This time we want to naturally come over to the right hand side. We're going to turn over towards the left. So bringing our left hand behind us, right hand onto our knee. Maybe picking our low tummy in and up a little bit, just creating a little bit more space for the twist. Collarbones are away from one another, neck nice and long. And then you can stay here, or if you want to, you can come into that nice recline. This time sending our gaze just over to the right hand side. Again, making sure those shoulders aren't holding on to anything. Taking another couple of breaths here, breathing into the space. If you came down to your pillow, just coming up onto your forearms and then pushing the ground away. And then just twisting slightly over to the right just to neutralize your spine a little bit. And then coming through the center, and we're just going to swing our legs around. We're just going to come in to a quick cat cow just to neutralize our spines. Just on inhale, drop your belly down. And then exhale, tucking the tailbone under, not pushing the ground away too hard with our hands. Just doing that one more time each direction. And then tucking the tailbone under, coming up. And then we're going to come into a variation of frog. So if you do have any knee issues, you're welcome to bring your knees onto a blanket, or you might need to come onto your mat at a different angle, so come onto it sideways just so you have this space. So you're going to come onto your knees. So if you want to even start in tabletop, and then you're just going to walk your knees out. So you're bringing your knees basically as far as they would go, while keeping like a 90-degree angle with your feet. So we're not coming into a child's pose where our feet are together. Our feet are going to be out in the side. So it's called frog's pose. Basically think about nice frog's legs. We're keeping our hips up nice and high here, so not bringing them too far forward. So if you imagine you were coming into like sideways splits in gymnastics, but we're not going to be doing that. So just bring your knees out to, I want to say wherever's comfortable, but we know we want to obviously take it to an element of intensity. And then you're welcome to stay with your hands here, just so your hands directly under your shoulders if that's enough, or we can come into a melting heart front here. So walking your hands out, angling your hands to a 10 and 2 o'clock, and then dropping your chest down. So your hips and your bum are going to be really high in the air here. So if you come down and you think this is too intense, you can't hold it, you can bring your hands back up underneath your shoulder blades, or if you come down and you want to increase it even more, you're just going to come up onto your fingertips, so you're getting an even bigger stretch through your shoulders. Really letting your heart melt down to the ground if you came into that melting heart variation. Be imagining someone's walking their hands up and down your spine. And just being really passive with your front body, so not trying to pull your belly button in, just letting your tummy fully relax down.
front body contracted and worked really hard for you this week during your practice, so just let it loose. And if you feel like you're losing your edge a little bit, maybe just sending those knees a millimeter apart even more. And even actively thinking about your knees moving away from one another. Just taking a few more breaths here. So if you feel like your breath has become shortened in this pose, as it can be quite intense, just making sure these breaths are nice and long. We're relaxing through our belly here, so taking deep belly breath, expanding that space. And if you did reach your hands out in front, just slowly walking your hands back up, coming onto all fours. And then this is the easiest way I find to come out of this anyway. We're just going to come onto our forearms and then just bring your toes together as if you're coming into child's pose, and then sink your hips back. And then just come to sit, and then bring your legs back together. And we're just going to sit down on our heels, spin our palms up to the sky, and just closing down our eyes. Feeling those sensations that we created. Maybe your hips are having a little conversation with you right now. Take on board what they're saying. And just blinking your eyes open. And you're just going to have your block, your book handy for this one. We're going to come into our half splits here. So just coming to, not stand, coming to rise up just onto your knees. We're going to bring our right leg out in front, and just as if you're going to come into your low lunge here, but you're going to snake that foot a little bit further forward, keeping your left hip directly above your left knee. Having your block handy, you might need it, you might not. You're going to start to flex those right toes up towards the ceiling, sending that right hip back. You can have a nice deep bend in this right leg. And we're going to bring our hands down to the earth. Now, if that's not possible, it's too far away for you to hold this for a long period of time, just bring your block like underneath your knees, and you can place your hand on your block. Now, usually when we do this pose in class, I really want the chest to be nice and open in your gaze, but you can make this really passive, so we can make our back nice and rounded and just fold over that leg. But I want you to focus on as if you could drag your heel back. So that's going to get a nice stretch into our hamstrings, into our quads, keeping that right hip up nice and high. So if you are rounding through the upper back, letting those shoulders droop forward. Try not to push the ground away to create that space in your back. Just let the weight of your scapulas move away from one another. And just having that slight
drag of our heel back towards us. We want to have a bit of a bend in our leg here. We don't want it to be a nerval stretch. Often people find that this is painful, so they think it's good. It shouldn't be painful. By making subtle movements like the dragging of our heel back and our hip up, we'll just feel an opening through our hamstrings. Our hamstrings will get a little bit of attention. We won't be making any weird movements to cause discomfort. Just checking in with our left glute here, making sure we're not squeezing on in our left leg. The left leg should be strong as it's supporting us, but we shouldn't be holding our tension there. It's quite often when we do stretch deeply into other areas of our body, we do hold on to tension elsewhere. Just taking a couple of final breaths here, so just really letting your body start to open, let those deep layers of tissue start to move away from one another. And then as you exhale, just rebending that front leg. Just coming into that little low lunge shape just to neutralize that. And then bringing our right knee back behind us. And then stepping our left foot out in front. And just like I said, I'm going on our back. One side might be completely different. So just sending our hips back so our right hip is directly above our right knee. As we start to straighten, but we don't have to straighten, our left leg. And if you do come into that and you don't feel maybe something going on there, you can just even shuggle your left foot forward a little bit. So hands onto the block or onto the earth. Remember letting our upper back just kind of do its thing in this pose. And then start to drag that heel back, keeping your left hip as high as you can. Even sending your breath up and down the back of your leg if you want to add a visualization. Just letting the weight of your body on itself just start to open up. Checking in with that right leg, making sure nothing's gripping on, checking with your hands even, not gripping your fingers into the mat. Your face is nice and soft. And checking with your edge, you need to take it a little bit deeper. Taking another couple of final breaths here. Maybe bringing your chest just slightly closer to your leg. Making use of that final breath. We're rebending, just coming into that nice low lunge shape. And then bringing our left knee back to meet our right knee, and then just sinking back into a child's pose. And then bringing our hands towards our knees as we rise up, just having your block handy, just curtsying your feet out to the side. And then coming to lie down on your back. So you should have your feet, should be hip width distance. You should be just about able to tickle the back of your ankles. And then just pushing your feet into the ground, lifting your hips up. And you're just going to bring your block or your book just to slide it right underneath
the top of your sacrum there. So basically where your bum stops and your back starts, there's a nice little flat ridge there. We're going to bring our hands up overhead. Our palms are going to spin up towards the ceiling and letting our elbows, our wrists and our shoulders become really heavy. Letting our front body really relax. Let your core just fully soften. Let the block take the weight of our hips. And if you want to get a bit more of an opening in our quads, you can start to just straighten out those legs. Let your feet flop out to either side. Again, if you come into this and it is too much, remember you can always come a step back. You can stay in your bridge or you can straighten out your legs to come into your supported fish. Maybe consider softening your gaze or closing your eyes. We're going to start to just let the breath just return to its natural rhythm. So if you've maybe been counting your breath through class to keep it a nice long rhythm, you can just let that go. If you have got your legs straight, just focusing on your legs being super heavy. Allowing your femur bone to become really weighted. We'll just open up the front of your hips that little bit more. And if you've stayed in your bridge pose, keeping that belly really relaxed, letting the hips really deeply sink into that block. Letting our front body having that expansion. It's its reward for maybe all the contraction that it's done during the week. And if you straightened out your legs into supported fish, just slowly bringing them back through into your bridge pose. And then just with a slight engagement with your hamstrings, pushing into the mat, lifting your hips up, just sliding that block away. And then as slow as you can, starting from your shoulders, letting our spine roll all the way back down to the earth. Letting our hips rest down. Then just walking your feet mat width, we're just going to knock our knees in together just to neutralize our lower back. And then if you want to just grab your pillow and maybe place your head in your pillow or put a blanket over your body. And you can make your way into your Shavasana. So if you want to stay in this position here where your feet are mat width and knees are knocking in, you can. Or you can come into our traditional Shavasana, so you would straighten out your legs. And just let your feet flop out naturally. Making sure our neck is nice and long, shoulders are down, our back. If you want a nice open and receiving Shavasana, you're going to spin your palms up to the ceiling. Or if you want a nice nourishing, cozy comfort Savasana, just bring your right hand just to below your belly button, the left hand's just going to rest in your heart. Elbows, try and keep your elbows on the ground so they have that connection. Maybe taking one final deep breath before you really close down your eyes and just let everything go. Maybe doing a quick scan of your body, making sure you're not furrowing your brow, your neck isn't tense, your throat's loose, shoulders are heavy, fingers aren't clasped. The small of your back is maybe pressing into the earth, knees and ankles are falling out. And just taking this time to reward your body at the end of a week before you start your new week tomorrow. Letting your body surrender, letting your mind quieten down, and just giving some time for you, and just finding stillness and peace.